Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us right now because honestly, we're about to completely shift your mindset. We are going to fundamentally rewire how you look at, well, literally everything around you. Every billboard, every app on your phone, every poster you walk past. Today, we're tackling the absolute core of what graphic design actually is. And hey, if you've ever felt like design is just this mystical, purely artistic talent that you're either born with or you're not, I've got some incredibly good news for you. We're going to break the whole shebang down into a logical, highly effective science.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with communication, not decoration. Then real-world problem solving. After that, we'll dive into the 6 core principles, play a little design doctor, and wrap it all up with the black and white challenge. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Communication, not decoration. You know, before we start building up new knowledge, we kind of have to clear out some old assumptions. So think about this for a second. When someone says graphic design, what immediately pops into your head? Is it just drawing, picking out nice color palettes, maybe taking a boring Word document and just making it look pretty? For a lot of folks, the answer is a resounding yes. They picture designers as these decorators who just swoop in at the very end to sprinkle a little visual glitter over a project. But the truth? The reality is actually so much more satisfying than that. Just look at the stark contrast here. Decoration, that's solely focused on aesthetics, just making things look nice. But communication, that is where graphic design actually lives and breathes. Graphic design is definitively not decoration. It's a highly strategic communication tool. It literally has a job to do. All right, let's look at the ultimate formula right here. Graphic design is visual communication used to solve a problem. Let's break that down piece by piece, shall we? Visual means we process it with our eyes. It relies on what we see. Communication means it is actively delivering a specific message to the viewer. And absolutely crucially, problem means it is designed to achieve a goal or fix an issue. If it doesn't solve a problem, well, then it's just art, not design. Section 2. Real-world problem solving. Now, it's one thing to talk about this formula in theory, right? But let's look at how it dictates the real world around us every single day. Take a simple sale poster. Why is the 50% off text absolutely massive? Why is it bright red and sitting dead center? Is it just because red happens to be the designer's favorite color? No way. It's totally calculated. It grabs your attention from across a busy street, clearly shows you the discount, and gets you to walk in and buy. Next, look at a YouTube thumbnail. Why the big text, the shocked face, the super bright colors? Well, the problem there is a massively crowded feed, and the solution has to grab your attention in literally 2 seconds before you scroll right past it. And finally, think about a classic corporate logo. Why is it so simple, usually sticking to just 1 or 2 colors? Because a logo has to be memorable. It needs to work perfectly, whether it's on a giant billboard or a tiny little business card, and it has to print easily. These choices, they aren't aesthetic accidents. They are calculated, real-world communication strategies. Section 3. The 6 core principles. If design is a language, then these 6 principles are basically the grammar. Principle number 1 is balance. This means the visual weight of your design should feel totally stable. Imagine a seesaw. If you dump a giant heavy image on the left side of your poster and put absolutely nothing on the right side, well, the whole design feels like it's tipping over. It actually makes the human eye feel physically uncomfortable and visually unstable. To fix that, you just counterbalance that big image with some text or a shape on the other side. Next up, we have contrast. This is simply the difference between elements. It's about pitting opposites against each other, right? Big versus small, dark versus light, really bold typography versus super thin typography. Contrast is the absolute key to improving readability and creating visual interest. Without it, everything just turns into this frustrating bowl of visual mush. I mean, gray text on a gray background makes you want to squint, doesn't it? It's so frustrating and completely unreadable, purely because there is no contrast. But flip that around to white text on a black background, and wow, the clear, harsh difference immediately draws your eye. It makes the message instantly, effortlessly readable. Our third principle is alignment. And let me tell you, this is the rule that really separates the amateurs from the pros. In design, absolutely nothing should ever be placed randomly. Every single element needs a deliberate reason for being exactly where it is. Taking the time to properly left align a block of text, rather than just kind of dragging and dropping it somewhere in the middle of a page, instantly elevates your layout. It creates this invisible grid that our human brains find deeply, deeply satisfying and professional. Moving on to number 4, repetition. This is exactly what it sounds like, repeating the same color, font, or stylistic element throughout your whole design. For example, you might use the exact same shade of blue for your main headline, your call to action button, and your icons. Think of repetition as the glue that makes a design feel unified. It signals to the viewer, yep, all these pieces belong to the exact same puzzle.
Principle 5 is proximity. This simply means that related things must stay visually close together. Let's say you have a picture of a shoe and its price tag. They need to be right next to each other. If the price is floating way off in the opposite corner, your viewer is going to get super confused. By placing related items close together, you visually tell the brain they belong to the same logical group, and that drastically reduces the cognitive load on your reader.
And finally, we've got our 6th principle, emphasis. This is all about controlling the viewer's eye movement. You actually get to dictate exactly what they see first, second, and third. Going back to our sale poster example for a second, emphasis is the exact tool that ensures the viewer's eye hits that massive 50% off first, then travels down to see the product second, and finally reads the tiny date and location details third. You're basically the director of their attention.
Section 4, playing design doctor.
So, now that we have our 6 principles, our toolkit really, it's time to put them into practice on a patient that desperately needs our help. Imagine someone hands you a messy, chaotic poster. Let's walk through the exact diagnostic process. Step 1, identify the mistakes. You look at it and ask yourself which rules are being broken here. Are there 5 different fonts? Is the spacing terrible? Maybe the contrast makes it impossible to read. Things are just randomly aligned, and there's absolutely no emphasis. Then comes step 2. Sketch the redesign. Before you even touch a computer, just draw a simple rectangle on a piece of paper. Decide exactly where the headline goes, where the image sits, and where the call to action belongs. Restrict yourself, big bold text, a maximum of 2 fonts, and maybe 2 colors. Finally, step 3, apply those improvements. Rebuild the layout, focusing strictly on fixing the alignment, cranking up the contrast, and directing the emphasis. Do not add decoration, just fix the communication, because at the end of the day, clean design always wins.
Section 5, the black and white challenge. We have covered a massive amount of ground today, so let's put it all to the test with the black and white challenge. If you really want to prove to yourself that graphic design is all about communication and not just picking out pretty colors, here are your constraints. You're going to create a poster with some really strict rules. Rule 1, you can only use black and white. Rule 2, you can only use basic shapes and text. No fancy photos, no illustrations. Rule 3, a maximum of 2 fonts. And Rule 4, it absolutely must show clear visual hierarchy, meaning I need to know exactly what to read first, second, and third. Before you even consider it finished, run a quick diagnostic check. Is your headline the biggest element? Is all your text cleanly aligned? By stripping away the crutch of color and decoration, you're forcing yourself to rely entirely on alignment, contrast, and emphasis. And trust me, that is exactly how you master visual communication.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Just take a look at the visuals around you right now. Look at the apps on your phone, the ads popping up on your screen, even the packaging sitting on your desk. Ask yourself, are they actually communicating a clear, problem-solving message using the 6 principles we just learned about? Or are they just decorating the noise? Once you start seeing the world through the lens of a design doctor, I promise you, you can never unsee it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.